people. I hope you all hear me. Like I said, this is gonna be right after the female Earthling build video. I decided to just make them into separate things because I'm afraid that the footage I was using, that I was recording before I started her build was just gonna affect her video, or was gonna affect the video in general. So I just make it a. I thought it'd just be easier just to do a separate video off of it, especially if I'm gonna put it into playlists. So this is my Namekian. His name is Gastro. He is definitely the best Namekian I have made so far, because every time I wanted to make a Namekian, every time in the past, I would come up short in how to make them because they would always end up looking like Piccolo, and I just hated it because that doesn't look good. It looks like I'm just trying to make a Piccolo. It sucks. It was horrible. But I knew the basics that they had to have high stamina and high health because they get a lot of health and a lot of stamina. I was gonna say. Oh yeah, that's right. So after I'm done showcasing him in this training mode, I will show both their stats. I will show both their stats because since I didn't get to show you the Bang, the gear, or their attribute points, so I will go back and do that if I have time, that is. But I'm pretty sure I will. But back to the reasoning why I made him like this, because I could never get a good Namekian to look good in appearance wise or in combat because they didn't really do that much damage. But when I found out that if I just boost up their basic good enough and then have like some good supers and ults that can next level, they can easily do some pretty good damage, or at least decent amount of damage, not the most overpowering. But Namekians are mainly not for their damage, but mainly for their survivability, since they have a ton of health and a ton of stamina. Not to mention, when you're below 25% of health, they start regenerating, which is a nice little thing. Now, unlike many others that I hate, I don't exploit the regen of that, or their giant form super armor kind of shit, because I hate that shit. Speaking of giant form, before I didn't like it. I didn't like the form because it took too much stamina really fast, and even then it wasn't even that much damaging. And the super soul for it was also crap because it just made it worse. I'd rather just take health damage since I'm already getting punished in the stamina department just by being in that form. And even after I tested it out recently, and stamina still goes down really quickly, and I hate it. And it still makes it that the giant form is not really that useful unless you have something that's boosting your stamina regen like hell, or your health. If you have if you find like some way to get over 3 bars of health, but that's not me. I probably said this before, but appearance-wise, I made him really unique, and I'm glad for it, because, like I said, every time I try to make him Namekian, I just ended up having him look like Piccolo. Now I got something more unique. I believe I do have either Gogeta's, Hercules, or maybe it was just a regular Namekian pants, but that's pretty much it. In terms of his clothing, the only other thing for his clothing is he has like regular Namekian top and gloves. His shoes are the Kiao. I don't know how to say it, but the Q word clothes that are part of the Time Patrol color changeable things. I believe it's the demon version, just because they have the best stats. But my Bang obviously negates all stat increase and decrease from the clothing I have on. And the QQ Bang that I have on is 5 in both in health, ki, and stamina, which boosts my health and stamina like so freaking high. Because how would I explain this? So like look at my key bar. You see where it ends. Imagine that before the QQ Bang, and then imagine where my health bar ends. Not the silver part, but the one after that, as like the stamina, and that's how much of an increase it gave me. It gave me like literally 10 bars of stamina, which I love, and it helps a lot in survivability, especially in health too, and as well as in ki, because in ki I believe I only got 5 bars, which of course it would be enough for me, but I just thought it would be nice to have the health and stamina. I didn't really care much about the ki part. Now that's 7 bars of ki, which like I said, 5 to 7 bars, not too bad. Anything over that is a bit spammy kind of feeling, you know, at least for me. Your opinion is your own. Oh, crap. Hang on, I have to go back because I forget that that's part of the first preset.
Moving out.
Now, the QQ Bang, while it did increase my health and stamina, which I love, it did decrease my basic and supers. But when I was going into testing to see should I really keep this QQ Bang on my presets, I found out that it doesn't take that much off. Plus, like I said, for me, I combo into the supers and ults to get good enough amount of damage, and that's how I do it. So it didn't decrease my damage that much. But I will show you the combos. Now I won't transform because the temporary boost, but I will show you the combos, and maybe I'll show when I transform. I'll show maybe 1 or 2 combos real quick, just because of course the Super Soul is very temporary, and then I'll have to. Well, I'll probably show off the supers and ults first, then maybe 1 or 2 combos if I have enough time. But you get the basic idea that it increases the combos a little bit. So without further ado, first is the full light. Easy knock away there into like a super, hell, even 2 knockaways. Now that's the full light combo. It does 30-12. Now, like I said, they don't do the most damage in both supers and basic, but you can easily negate that by doing combos into supers, and it does a lot of damage. That was the full heavy. Now that's 27-76. Easy knockdown of 3 light into 2 heavy. 1687. That's 5 light into the 3 heavy. 3496. Now that is 6 light into the 5 heavy, almost combining both the light and heavy variants. Does 4461. There is another. No, I don't think that. Or maybe that is another combo, but there's another one. Oh, sorry, combo dropped. It's another like knockdown kind of kick. Does 5306. Now the light, heavy to the light. That's basically what that one was. And that does 4707. Now grab 1448. Now stamina breaks. Namekians don't have that many, but you can easily pull them off. No, I'll do this. So there is an easy one. It's like 4 into this light stamina break. It's pretty easy, or you could easily do that, but it's it's not the most reliable. And if a stamina break does not connect to the next hit, that's how you know it's not going to be that useful. Now another one I did find, which was pretty easy, especially since you can easily do a combo chain, which is the one light into the two heavy. You can easily do and just stack up damage like crazy until you're ready to give a stamina break, and then you can continue on. Ooh. Now, if that were to land, that would kill Trunks. But that is one of the easiest stamina breaks. Here, I'll show it to you in like just basic without racking up damage. Oh crap. I gotta get back to the ground again. So like I said, this works better when you're like really on the ground, because that's how you're gonna get it to connect. Oh, I don't know why that didn't work. I think it's because of the grass. That's what I hate about it. Yeah, so there you go. Like, it does work that way. Now, I don't know if it did work, but I think you can do it. I think you can do it off of a heavy, but I'm not sure. So let's try it. It does work, and it works very nicely, especially since got a good enough time to do anything. Let's try that again. Maybe I can do it again. Sorry, I'm sounding like I'm muttering. I just never really did a heavy with my Namekian unless it was like an unreliable, and I just got lucky in just doing the stamina break. So I just easily just do a light, because then I have enough time to do a combo into maybe some supers and then maybe into an ult, and that already wins. But as I said, this build is mostly for just survivability more than just racking up damage like Saiyans or Earthlings. Okay, so those are the stamina breaks I have found. Now you may be saying, what about that right there? Where you teleport and you like slap Trunks away. I've tried a bunch of times. You cannot do a stamina break off of that. For the love of me, I tried. You would think it would be the easiest one to pull off because it's a vanish, but you can't. Like, if you saw that, I can only do it afterward, which is kind of crap. But they do have some pretty easy stamina breaks, as long as you're close to the ground or you're close enough to your opponent and he has like low enough stamina for you to be able to actually land it off. But you should have enough opportunities to do so, since of course survivability is greater with Namekian. Well, there is another stamina break. You can easily do one of those easy Freesia stamina breaks by doing a knockaway into the turnaround into the stamina break. Though sometimes that is hard to do. I've noticed that before. See, there we go. I was able to do it. But it's all about like timing and have a little bit of patience when you do a stamina break like that. I wish a lot of people would do stamina breaks like that with the Frieza, because it's not that difficult. Plus, Friezas are meant to use a lot of their combos to rack up damage along with their supers and ki blasts, just to survive, since they don't have a lot of stamina break. They don't have any stamina breaks. And it works with the heavy. Believe it or not, these are the first times I'm actually doing a turnaround with my Namekian into a stamina break and actually succeeded, I should say. Now I'll go into the supers. I try to make his supers, really his whole character is not a like like one color, one element, or one style kind of key blasts or moves in general. Because he is like a martial artist. He fights like one because in both his combos and his supers. Just because they're basic, but they do some decent damage, especially when they're comboed into, which, like I always say, that's how I try to do it. But I will show you these moves. Now, Evil Flight Strike, I believe it's only for Namekians and female Majins, and it works very well. Especially when you're at the top of the map, you can probably even pull off a stamina break, maybe, if you're like close enough and they don't get too far away. But I don't think so, since off those 2 times I tried, it doesn't really work unless if I did a heavy. Nope, doesn't work. But you could easily do a combo, just a chain too, and get them like trapped up in there. But obviously it won't connect in terms of damage, and sometimes, of course, that will happen where Trunks will just roll out. But it does 29-12. Man, my throat, maybe my mouth is dry. But like I said, it doesn't do the most damage, but it's pretty useful, especially in terms of their combos. Now, Super Explosive Wave, 2192. Does it do the same damage? Okay, no, it just does like the opposite away. Both moves are good because they both also get a buff too, since like Deadly Dance, this move has a longer pause for you to continue something. And in the backflip, you can easily backflip into a guard and not have to do the blast, which I thought was pretty nice, especially since whenever I tried to use Super Explosive Wave, they would just keep charging at me until they can punch me to stop me from using the move. But now they can't, since I can backflip, block, before they can even do anything. And if I get a perfect block, well, I'll just do this, block, into a charged heavy. So, because during a perfect block, of course, they're blocking, and I can just stamina break them easily. I've seen it done before on Steeda with his Frieza, and it pretty much works with any character as long as the AI or your opponent is just still blocking and hasn't realized that you're starting to do a heavy, so they can stamina break him. And I thought that's pretty useful. After Image to help with survivability, but also because, like I said, I don't need a lot of damage in this build, I just need survivability. Now, for the moves, like I said, I just went with basic moves that are pretty good if you combo into them, and don't really do a lot, not a lot of damage, but, they're just basic. I'll keep repeating myself, but I'm just trying to get that point through, that it's not about damage, it's about survivability. So, Special Beam Cannon, very useful, especially on Namekians in their combos. 58. Yeah, I noticed that the first time too. Now, there is an easy way I've used this move, and that is, just into, a chain until I stamina break my opponent. Here, maybe I'll do it 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Oh, well, hang on, maybe if I move him. Sorry guys, I'm trying to show the combo that I do to combo into this move. 3. Oh, frick! I don't know what this is. Alright, so that is the combo that I use to combo into the move. It's one of the easier ways of using it. Of course, if you have more time, you can easily just do that chain into it and just stand and break them, do some damage into it, and it does more damage. And even if they get up, they can't block it, since, of course, special beam cannon is unblockable.
Special beam cannon! Special beam cannon!
And I also like how it has a bit of a knockaway too, like, you know how Piccolo's special beam cannon went through Raditz and Goku. It has like that little knockaway kind of thing, and I like it. So Impulse Slash is just to have I'm trying to make my Namekian, since they don't do that much damage with either or. I just have it as like a balance. So 67-14. Not the most damaging, but still useful. So now we show off these moves in their buffed states from the transformation. I probably don't have a lot of time for combos, since I don't think the temporary thing lasts long. But you get the gist, like, it's not really about damage, it's about survivability. Yeah, like, see, I just barely had enough time to finish off the combos. But that is enough, it for his build. Of course, like the female Earthling and Dracus, I will show off the presets as well. Of course, those will probably be changing from time to time as well. I might also do a Frieza build race build today, or sooner. Same with maybe my male Earthling and my other characters, just so I can get maybe just their first build video off, and then I'll just in the future I'll keep doing their presets, and whatever new presets I come up with, I'll showcase them. But that is about it.